students. Today's topic is determination of income, output and employment by using AD and AS approach. In the previous classes, I taught you about the consumption function. In my previous class, we have studied about consumption function, the saving curve, determination of aggregate demand curve, and the determination of investment curve. Let's suppose autonomous consumption is 60, then if MPC is 0.8, 80 रुपीज से हमारा कंजम्पशन जो है इंक्रीज हो रहा है 140, then 220, 300, then 380, 460, 540, 620. This is the schedule which we have studied in my previous class. You see, this is consumption curve. Consumption curve is a straight line curve. बिल्कुल straight line curve है consumption curve. Starts from y-axis because there is autonomous consumption. This is income and this is expenditure. The distance is same throughout. At 100, the consumption is 140. I put the income. मैं income यहाँ लगाता हूँ. Zero income. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. So we have got the income curve, that is 45 degree line. You see here 300, 300. At 300, y is equal to c. The consumption is equal to income. So at this point, savings will become 0. The area is known as the savings and this area is known as savings, which we have studied in my previous class. Today, I taught you about the saving curve, that is, if income is 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 and 800. Consumption, autonomous consumption again हम मान लेते हैं 60 है. So new level of consumption will be 140 because MPC में assume कर रहे हैं 0.8, 220, 300, 380, 460, 540, 620 and this is 700. So you see, this is our consumption. So consumption curve. And saving negative है, it starts from negative axis और ये x axis को intersect कर रहा है जहाँ पर y is equal to c and savings becomes positive. So this is saving curve. This is we have studied in our previous class. Today we are going to study about aggregate demand. The shape of aggregate demand curve is equal to now AD. You know, income 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. If we assume consumption is 60, autonomous consumption at 0 level of income, the new consumption level 140, 80 से बढ़ जाएगा, 220, 300, 380, 460, 540, 620, 700. Now, investment. If I assume investment is 40 and investment is constant, because the investment is autonomous. You see, we got a curve. This is our consumption curve. And there is a curve which is parallel to this curve. This is AD curve. So AD curve is parallel to this AD curve we have determined from this schedule. This AD schedule and consumption schedule. If you compare the difference of investment, which is constant, that is 40. From 48 decline, we are presenting our income. At this point, you see at 300, the income is 300 and consumption is 300. But when income level is 500, you see, income level is 500 here. Now AD is equal to income. The 500 income है, AD भी 500 है हमारा, 500, 500. You can see from this. Now come to board. So consumption कब हमने कर लिया, investment हमने कर लिया, and we know in two sector economy AD is equal to C plus I. Now we know the shape of aggregate demand curve. This is your C curve, and a curve which is parallel to C is C plus I. Since I is constant, so the gap will remain constant. When the gap is constant, the C plus I curve is equal to C, and this is also known as aggregate demand curve. Now we have to determine the equilibrium level of income, output and employment in the economy. AD is C plus I and AS is C plus S. So we are using AD is equal to AS approach to determine equilibrium level of income, output and employment. On x-axis we take income, output and employment. To produce more output, we need more people, we have to increase employment, and when output increases, income increases. So these three things are interrelated. So we have taken all these things on the same curve. On y-axis we will take aggregate demand. Now this is our aggregate demand curve, AD. We have learned from here, this is the shape of aggregate demand curve with respect to income, output and employment. As income increases, our consumption also increases. So when consumption increases, this will be upward sloping curve, investment constant hai. So this is the shape of C plus I or AD. So AD is of this shape. Now we cannot tell you किस वक्त जो हमारा AD है वो हमारा AS से ज्यादा है. तो what we will do? We will take a 45 degree line. This is a 45 degree line, and AS is represented by 45 degree line. AS is represented by 45 degree line. एग्रीगेट सप्लाई को हम 45 डिग्री लाइन से क्यों रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं? सपोज मैं कहता हूं कि हमारी कंपनी ने इतना प्रोड्यूस किया, इसको अगर हमें वर्टिकल एक्सिस पे नापना है तो हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? हम कहेंगे दिस इज इक्वल टू दिस, क्योंकि 45 डिग्री लाइन से किसी भी पॉइंट से दोनों एक्सिस सेम डिस्टेंस पर होते हैं. दिस डिस्टेंस इज इक्वल टू दिस डिस्टेंस. इस हॉरिजॉन्टल डिस्टेंस को वर्टिकल करने के लिए वी यूज 45 डिग्री लाइन. So what happened at ON level? At ON level, AS is equal to AD. जो एग्रीगेट सप्लाई है वो AD के बराबर है ON level of output पर. At ON level of output, AS is equal to AD. It means whatever households and firms are consuming, the economy is producing. Suppose economy produces more. Suppose economy produces OM level of output. Then what will happen? If economy produces OM level of output, you see this is OM. This OM is equal to this. 45 degree line पर touch कर रहा है. This OM is equal to this OM and TM. OM is equal to TM because 45 degree line से यहाँ तक और यहाँ से यहाँ तक दोनों distance बराबर होंगे. And the level of aggregate demand is this, MS. MS is aggregate demand. So हम लोग इतना कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, इतना मांग रहे हैं, but economy is producing OM which is equal to MT. Economy is producing this much. So this is unwanted, unsold stock of goods. इसको हम बोलेंगे unwanted, unsold stock of goods. At this point you have seen AS is greater than AD. इस point पर AS AD से ज्यादा है. At this point what we have noticed, AS is greater than AD. At OM level of output, AS curve lies above AD curve. It means aggregate supplies more than aggregate demand. we can say that the economy is producing more than what households and firms are consuming. As a result, there will be unwanted, unsold stock of goods lie with the firms. Now the firms will respond to this situation by reducing output. अब फर्म क्या करेंगे? आउटपुट को कम करेंगे. आउटपुट को कम करने से क्या होगा? आउटपुट को कम करना है तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? एम्प्लॉयमेंट को कम करना पड़ेगा. तो आउटपुट भी कम होगा, एम्प्लॉयमेंट भी कम होगा. कब तक? टिल AS becomes equal to AD. कि हमारा जितना इकोनॉमी में डिमांड है उतना ही हमारा प्रोडक्शन हो जाए. तो टिल AS becomes equal to AD हम उसको कम करेंगे. अगेन इकोनॉमी विल रीच टू OL लेवल ऑफ आउटपुट. तो हमने देखा इकोनॉमी जब भी ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस करेगी, आई मीन टू से व्हेनेवर एग्रीगेट सप्लाई इज मोर देन एग्रीगेट डिमांड, इकोनॉमी को वापस अपना प्रोडक्शन कम करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि इकोनॉमी विल नॉट बी इन इक्विलिब्रियम. सपोज यहां एक केस ले लेते हैं. At OL level of output, OL level of output पर you see economy is producing OL. This OL is equal to this. 45 डिग्री लाइन ये है. 45 डिग्री लाइन की प्रॉपर्टी है कि हर पॉइंट से दोनों एक्सिस की दूरी सेम होगी. तो OL is equal to this. तो we are producing OL और this is our aggregate supply. Aggregate demand कब यहाँ है? We are consuming this much. So we can say AD is greater than AS. So when AD is greater than AS, it means households and firms are consuming more than what firms are producing, what economy is producing. As a result, there will be reduction in stock. इससे क्या होगा? Reduction in stock. Firms ने जो भी मेंटेन करके रखा हुआ है, उसमें चेंज आने लगेगा, रिडक्शन होगा. Now the economy will respond to this situation by increasing output. इकोनॉमी को अपना आउटपुट इंक्रीज करना पड़ेगा. आउटपुट को इंक्रीज करने के लिए एम्प्लॉयमेंट इंक्रीज करना पड़ेगा और इकोनॉमी अगेन यहां पहुंच जाएगी. तो व्हाट वी हैव लर्न्ड, इकोनॉमी प्रोड्यूसेस एट अ लेवल ऑफ आउटपुट व्हिच इज इक्वल टू एग्रीगेट डिमांड इन द इकोनॉमी. तो हमेशा हमारा AS कितना हो ये डिपेंड करेगा AD पर. अगर इकोनॉमी ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस करती है, if aggregate supply is more than aggregate demand, वापस आना पड़ेगा, we have to reduce production. अगर इकोनॉमी प्रोड्यूस करती है less than aggregate demand, इकोनॉमी को अपना प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. तो what we have learned? We have learned the economy is in equilibrium at a level of output where aggregate supply is equal to aggregate demand. This is the explanation with the help of curve. अभी मैं आपको कंप्यूटर से दिखाता हूँ. Help of C plus I curve. At axis we will take income, output and employment. Y-axis we will take consumption, expenditure and aggregate demand. This is 45 degree line. Both the axes are equidistant. इस लाइन से दोनों एक्सिस हमारे equidistant होंगे. ये जो लाइन है इससे both the axes are equidistant. This is 45 degree line. This is the property of this line कि this distance is equal to this distance. This is your AD curve. This is AD curve. Now at this point aggregate supply is equal to aggregate demand. At this point aggregate supply is equal to aggregate demand. The economy will be in equilibrium at this level of output क्योंकि यहाँ पर AS is equal to AD. Equilibrium. At OM level of output we can say the economy is in equilibrium. Suppose economy produces OL level of output. At OL level of output aggregate supply curve is greater than aggregate demand curve. Means economy is producing this much and this is equal to this, but we are consuming only this much. So this is unwanted, unsold stock of goods which will lie with the firms. This is unwanted, unsold stock of goods. The firms will respond to this situation by reducing output. Output कम होगा जब तक हम वापस वहां पहुंच जाए जहां AS is equal to AD. If economy produces OL level, this OL is equal to this. Economy is producing this much, but economy is consuming this much. Households and firms इतना consume करते हैं, but हम इतना produce कर रहे हैं. So this is reduction in stock. So what happens now? हमें अपना production बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. So at OM level, C plus I is equal to AS. This determines the equilibrium level of This is equilibrium level of output, irrespective of full or under employment level of equilibrium. At ON level of output, C plus I. At ON level of output, this is ON level of output, C plus I lies below to AS curve. This means economy is producing more than consumption of household and the firms. The economy यहाँ ज़्यादा produce कर रही है. This is the consumption level of households. Economy is producing more than. It will result in unwanted stock of unsold goods. The firms will respond to this situation by reducing production, by reducing employment till equality between AS and AD is achieved. Production again come to OM level. At OL level of output, C plus I lies above to AS curve. This means economy is producing less than what household and firms are demanding. OL यहाँ पर economy is producing less than, economy produce कर रहे this much, which is equal to this much, but households ज़्यादा consume कर रहे हैं. क्या होगा? Demand ज़्यादा है. It will result in reduction in stock of goods. Now the firms will respond to this situation by increasing production, by increasing employment till equality between AS and AD is achieved. Production again come to OM level. So this is we have learned from AD and AS approach. Now this is with the help of schedule. Y 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Consumption 60, autonomous consumption 140, 220, 300, 380, 460, 540. We are increasing consumption by 80 units every time because जब भी इनकम 100 से बढ़ रही है, consumption 80 से बढ़ रहा है because our MPC is 0.8. Investment if I take 40, the investment is constant. Why investment is constant? Because this is autonomous. It does not depend on the level of income or profit. AD is a sum of C plus I, 100, 180, 260, 340, 420, 500, 580. This is aggregate demand. Now this explanation is with the help of schedule. You see, when income, this is income is equal to C plus S, which is also known as AS. So when aggregate supply is 500, 3D is 500, this is equilibrium level of income, output and employment. यहाँ से बनाता हूँ. This is 500. So when aggregate supply is 500, aggregate demand is 500. AS is equal to AD. This is equilibrium. Now, when AS is 600, AD is 580. You see here, if this is 600, if this is 600, AD is 580. This is 580. And this is 600, because you know this distance is equal to this distance, 45 degrees. So there is unwanted unsold stock of goods of 20 units, 20 करोड़, 20,000 करोड़. तो जब इकोनॉमी 600 करोड़ रुपए का माल प्रोड्यूस कर रही है, इकोनॉमी में डिमांड है 580 करोड़ की, 20 करोड़ का अनवांटेड अनसोल्ड स्टॉक ऑफ गुड्स. तो फर्म को क्या करना पड़ेगा? प्रोडक्शन कम करना पड़ेगा. तो फर्म ने क्या करा? क्योंकि प्रोडक्शन ज्यादा है, डिमांड कम है, प्रोडक्शन कम किया. प्रोडक्शन कम किया, इनकम भी कम हो गई, तो अगेन विल रीच 500. प्रोडक्शन कम करने से एग्रीगेट डिमांड भी कम हो जाएगी क्योंकि इनकम कम होगी. सपोज इकोनॉमी प्रोड्यूसेस 400, इकोनॉमी 400 प्रोड्यूस कर रही है. तो at 400 aggregate demand is 420. You see here, this is 400, this is 400. Economy is producing 400, but aggregate demand is 420. यानी 20 यूनिट्स का रिडक्शन इन स्टॉक, 20 करोड़ का रिडक्शन इन स्टॉक. इकोनॉमी को प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. सो इकोनॉमी हैज टू इंक्रीज द आउटपुट. सो आउटपुट बढ़ेगा, इनकम बढ़ेगी, डिमांड भी बढ़ेगी, एंड इकोनॉमी विल अगेन रीच टू 500. सो व्हेन इनकम इंक्रीजेस, कंजम्पशन इंक्रीजेस. कंजम्पशन इंक्रीज करेगा. व्हेन इनकम इंक्रीजेस 1 से 500, कंजम्पशन इंक्रीजेस 380 से 460. As a result, the equilibrium will be established. So we can say that the economy is in equilibrium when aggregate supply is equal to aggregate demand. When aggregate supply is equal to aggregate demand, the economy attains equilibrium. If I take S curve, y60 minus 60, 140 से 100 minus 40, 220 से 200 minus 20, 300 से 300 0, 380 positive 20, 40 and 60. So we have explained economy is in equilibrium where aggregate supply is equal to aggregate demand. Aggregate supply is equal to C plus S. Aggregate demand is equal to C plus I. So economy will also be in equilibrium where savings is equal to investment. आप चेक कर लीजिए, जहां पर ये 500 पर इकोनॉमी इक्विलिब्रियम में थी, वहां पर भी सी savings is equal to investment. So there are two approaches. There are two approaches of determination of equilibrium. One is AD is equal to AS approach. Other one is saving is equal to investment approach. We'll see now saving is equal to investment approach. Saving is equal to investment approach. हमने अभी प्रूव किया इकोनॉमी इज इन इक्विलिब्रियम वेयर AS is equal to AD. So AS is equal to C plus S, AD is equal to C plus I. तो इकोनॉमी वहां पर भी इक्विलिब्रियम में होगी जहां पर सेविंग्स is equal to investment. You see here, this is AD curve, this is AS curve for the line. At ON level of output, economy is in equilibrium. If we make this is income, output and employment, and this is aggregate demand, and this is autonomous aggregate demand. Output employment. You see, this is investment curve. Investment curve is parallel to x-axis because investment remains constant. At one level of output, AD is equal to AS. जहां पर AS और AD बराबर है, वहां सेविंग्स इन्वेस्टमेंट के बराबर है. तो the saving curve will pass through this point. This is saving. So where AD is equal to AS, savings equal to investment. Now what happens at OM level of output? At OM level of output, you see, saving curve lies above investment curve. Means people are saving more and consuming less. When people are consuming less, the level of aggregate demand is less. As a result, aggregate demand कम है. इकोनॉमी में अनवांटेड अनसोल्ड स्टॉक ऑफ गुड्स होगा. अनवांटेड अनसोल्ड स्टॉक ऑफ गुड्स होने से इकोनॉमी को प्रोडक्शन कम करना पड़ेगा. जब इकोनॉमी प्रोडक्शन कम करेगी तो रियल इन्वेस्टमेंट विल फॉल, सेविंग्स इनकम विल फॉल एंड सेविंग्स विल फॉल. At OL level of output, at OL level of output, saving curve lies below investment curve. कि लोग सेव कम कर रहे हैं, इसका मतलब खर्च कम कर रहे हैं. When people are spending more, the level of aggregate demand in the economy will be more. Aggregate demand ज्यादा होगी इकोनॉमी में, उसका मतलब अब प्रोडक्शन हमें बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. तो प्रोडक्शन बढ़ेगा, इनकम बढ़ेगी, इनकम बढ़ेगी तो सेविंग्स बढ़ेगी, अगेन यहाँ पहुंच जाएगी. तो in both the methods we can explain the equilibrium level of income, output and employment. Let's equilibrium with the help of saving is equal to investment approach. Yes, we have explained that the economy is in equilibrium where AS is equal to AD. So economy will also be in equilibrium where savings equal to investment. This is investment curve which is parallel to x-axis. Investment, because investment is autonomous. Saving curve starts from negative axis, intersects investment where AD is equal to AS. At ON level of output, savings equals to investment. At OM level of output, saving is greater than investment. At OL level of output, savings are less than investment. At ON level, the savings is equal to investment curve. This determines the equilibrium level of income, output and employment. This is ON level of output. At OM level of output, saving lies above investment curve. People are saving more and refrain from consumption. It will result in unwanted, unsold stock of goods. So, this is the level at which saving is greater than investment. लोग सेव ज्यादा कर रहे हैं लेकिन खर्च कम कर रहे हैं. The firms will respond to this situation by reducing production, by reducing employment till equality between S and I is achieved. और प्रोडक्शन कम होगा, एम्प्लॉयमेंट कम होगा तो इनकम भी कम हो जाएगी. एट OL लेवल ऑफ आउटपुट S lies below to I curve. यहाँ पर जो सेविंग है आपका वो कम है इन्वेस्टमेंट से. लोग सेव कम कर रहे हैं, खर्च ज्यादा कर रहे हैं. इकोनॉमी को प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, प्रोडक्शन बढ़ेगा, एम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ेगा, इनकम बढ़ेगी, अगेन सेविंग्स बढ़ेंगी और इकोनॉमी वापस यहाँ पर पहुंच जाएगी. तो दिस इज equilibrium with the help of savings and investment approach. The firms will respond to this situation by increasing production, by increasing employment till equality between savings and investment is achieved. So जब भी savings कम होंगी इन्वेस्टमेंट से, उसका मतलब लोग ज्यादा खर्च कर रहे हैं तो हमें प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. जब भी सेविंग्स ज्यादा होंगी इन्वेस्टमेंट से तो लोग सेव ज्यादा कर रहे हैं और खर्च कम कर रहे हैं. एग्रीगेट डिमांड फॉल करेगी, प्रोडक्शन को कम करना पड़ेगा, लोगों की इनकम कम होगी और जब लोगों की इनकम कम होगी सेविंग का लेवल भी फॉल करेगा और सेविंग्स इन्वेस्टमेंट के बराबर हो जाएगी. So this is all about the determination of equilibrium level of income, output and employment in the economy.